And the chair now recognizes Councilman Jones.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have one resolution co-sponsored by Councilwoman Blackwell, Councilwoman Bass, Councilwoman Jem, Councilman Green, Councilman Heenan, Councilman Johnson, Councilman O, Councilman Sanchez, and Councilwoman Parker, and I'd like to be recognized after the reading of the titles.
Actually, Councilman, I want to recognize you now.
I appreciate it. I couldn't sleep last night trying to find appropriate words that I would say to you as for the introduction of this resolution. And after I prayed on it, I found them. There are 200,000 Muslims in and around the city of Philadelphia. There are over 65 mosques in the city of Philadelphia. Muslim children from K to 12 represent approximately 20% of the student body. Yet the most compelling reason why we opened and introduced this legislation came from a student. I believe she went to Central High School, and she was asked how she felt by the fact that her religious observance, her two holidays that are significant to her spiritual growth, were not recognized. And the word that rung in my ear and tattooed on my heart was the word marginalized. Marginalized. And I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I wondered if I ever truly felt marginalized. And I remember going to the department store at Wanamaker's with my mother, who was a taxpayer, who was a government worker, who was a solid citizen, even with being my mother. She would walk into that store, and immediately her demeanor changed. Her demeanor changed towards me. She would clutch me and my brother close, and it was almost as if she was apologizing for spending her money in that store. As a young person, that was the first time ever I felt marginalized. And I swore, after hearing that young lady's voice, that none of our children, none of them, of any race, creed, color, or religion, should ever feel marginalized again. I have my grandchildren there, right there. She just waved, not you. And I would do everything legal in my power as a council person to make sure they never, ever felt that feeling. We are teachers, auditors, doctors, city workers, lawyers, business persons, men and women, artists, and many of them have come down here today. And I'd like them to stand and be recognized, and as importantly, be welcomed to the city of Philadelphia in City Hall. So I was asked by a good-hearted person, a well-meaning person. They said, well, Councilman, shouldn't you wait to introduce this with all that's going on in the world? Jason Dawkins is a state representative, and he heard some of these conversations. Shouldn't you wait because of the international friction between religions and governments? And shouldn't you wait based on what happened even here in the city of brotherly love? And I said to myself, and I thought on it, and I said, words that I'm paraphrasing from another great man, if not now, when? If not us, who? And if we don't speak about it now, Mr. President, dispel myths and boogeymans, because we come in different shapes, sizes, colors, heights. Some of them are Republicans. But what is most important is that they are citizens and they are taxpayers, and that this city was founded on religious tolerance. William Penn came here fleeing religious persecution and establish a beachhead of freedom. I think this resolution speaks to that. We always don't get it right here in this country, but we keep coming back at it until we do. And for those reasons, I submit this resolution today, which will eventually begin the dialogue between the administration, between the 4 unions, to establish a religious holiday, the 2 Eids, for the Muslim community in the city of Philadelphia. Thank you, Mr. President.
Chair again recognizes Councilman Jones.
Mr. President, I would request and make a motion.
I'm sorry, hold on, Councilman. We got to read the resolution. My fault.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
A non-privileged resolution calling upon the City of Philadelphia and the School District of Philadelphia to recognize Eid al-Fitr, the end of the holy month of Ramadan, and Eid al-Adha, which commemorates Hajj, the annual holy pilgrimage to Mecca, and to observe both Eids in the same manner as other legally recognized holidays in Philadelphia.
Thank you.
Mr.
You want to do that now?
Yes. Mr. President, if I could I call for a rule suspension, thus allowing this resolution to be read and voted on this day?
Been moved and properly second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, ayes have it. This resolution will be placed on today's final passage calendar.